Hi, Errol Parker here, and just before we get into this week's news bulletin, I just want to talk to you about our Monday morning podcast. This week we've interviewed Hedley Thomas from the Teacher's Pet podcast. It's had over 10 million downloads, it's gone to number 1 in America, it's taken the entire world by storm. He stopped by the studios to talk to us a bit about the podcast and what he's got planned for the future. It's a must listen for all Teacher's Pet fans.
You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5.
G'day, I'm Bruce Hitchcock, and you're listening to the weekly Betoota News Bulletin, coming to you from Koala Mattress Studios in downtown Betoota. Joining me in the studio today is my good mate Wendell Hussey.
Hello, Bruce, and hello to you listening wherever you may be, inside the Diamantina Shire or outside it.
Don't forget, tickets to the Betoota Advocate Roadshow are on sale now, so be sure to grab some for when our regional paper comes to your town. Go to www.betootaadvocate.com/roadshow, or just in the episode notes of the podcast. Now, into the news wrap, and there's still a bit going on down in Canberra, isn't there, Del?
There certainly is, Bruce. Peter Dutton is still in the headlines this week for pulling strings and letting young European au pairs into the country on behalf of his mates.
They were good-looking young women, though, weren't they?
Well, yeah, they were, and we covered the plight of another hot young au pair from France's Champagne region, who is currently seeking asylum in the country. She told us that she's happy to settle for Toorak, Mossman or Ascot. She also said that she could even settle for a 1 million acre regional cattle station in South Australia if worse comes to worse.
What a horrible situation that is. Geez, let's hope Peter opens his heart up. And Dutton's friend and ally, Tony Abbott, is also still in the headlines, eh?
Yeah, he was given an interesting job in the new Scott Morrison government as the special envoy to the Prime Minister on Indigenous Australians.
And he's really taken to the new role with vim and vigour, isn't he, Del? The Betoota Advocate can exclusively reveal that Tony Abbott has begun supporting the South Sydney Rabbitohs rugby league team and has started calling all his female colleagues sis.
What a transformation. Apparently he might actually get a run with the Walgett side in the Koori knockout this year as well.
Jeez, that'd be a sight to see, wouldn't it? Big Tone trucking the ball up. And back home in Betoota this week, a local surgeon has opened up about one of the struggles she faces on a daily basis.
Yeah, Angela Brock-Jones spoke to us about how she is constantly being let down by patients who credit the man upstairs for their successful surgery. She's lashed out at patients who feel obliged to thank a 2,000-year-old wizard when she's slaving away trying to save people's lives. Brock-Jones explained that it would be nice, just once, if some of her pathetic patients could credit her for saving their lives.
I don't think it's too much to ask, really. She did also point out that she can't really understand why people think it's God saving their lives, when he lets a whole lot of people die in all sorts of horrible ways.
Yeah, it's a valid question, isn't it? You hear about the guy who drowned in concrete the other day, Bruce?
Oh my God, what a way to go.
Terribly sad, Bruce. And while the Advocate was down at the hospital doing that story, we actually came across another one.
Yeah, that's right, mate. We spoke to a young woman who decided to put up a selfie of herself in a hospital bed, but with absolutely zero context.
Sounds like a fishing expedition.
Yeah, it was. She was actually chasing attention, we discovered. The young woman named Becky was trying to land some concerned messages and well wishes from friends by posting this wildly unnecessary and ambiguous photograph without confirming what her illness is.
And just to be clear, she was only in there for a routine process and was in no way of poor health.
No, Del, she wasn't, and we've since confirmed that. She's perfectly fine, mate. That is, despite exacerbating the tension and ambiguity around the state of her health to her immediate friendship group for the better part of 24 hours.
And Bruce, there was a couple of big sporting stories this week.
Yeah, that's right, Del, starting with the incredible story of John Millman, an Australian tennis player who managed to capture the nation's attention this week.
And he managed to do it without carrying on like a fuckwit?
An incredible story. Instead of grabbing headlines because of tantrum throwing, tanking, or carrying on like a fucking spoon, Millman managed to do it by beating tennis great Roger Federer. That victory alone would have been enough to shock the country, but it's actually the fact that he's now front and centre, despite the lack of carry-on that's really wowed the nation.
Yeah, Paul Stockdale texted our editor Clancy about the issue and said that there needs to be a background check on this Millman because surely he can't be an Australian tennis player. Now, elsewhere in the sporting world, the fallout from the Bulldogs NRL team getting on the piss is continuing. The NRL athletes' right to have a few union have come out today announcing that players will be kneeling for the country's national anthem until journalists stop taking pictures of them on Mad Monday.
Yeah, it looks like it's all going to come to a head pretty soon, with Willie Mason, the spokesman for the association, calling journalists a bunch of nerds. But it sounds like they have public support.
Yeah, that's right. Unlike the NFL protests in America that seem to have divided the fan base a little over there, it seems every single rugby league fan in Australia is 100% supportive of the players vowing to kneel during the anthem.
Good on them for taking a stand, I reckon. Anyway, that's the news wrap for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget the Betoota Advocate Roadshow is happening at the end of the year, so grab yourself some tickets now.
And please subscribe to the podcast to get your weekly fix of real, unfiltered and unwavering regional news.
And until next week, I'm Bruce Hitchcock.
And I'm Wendell Hussey.